Toddlerhood is not the time period that you need to get your kids in line, get them in check, lock down behaviors, get them under control before they spiral endlessly into the abyss of dark and dangerous behaviors that you'll never be able to control again. This is the advice people will often give you that is completely grounded in ignorance, a pure lack of information about what's happening in the toddler brain at this time. From birth, typically developing children are on a steady trajectory toward independence. For nearly a year of their lives, children are fully dependent on us to meet all of their needs. One of the very first milestones toward independence is physical independence. They can now reach for, grab, and get things that they want. They can also travel to get to the things and places they want to go to or see. This is an awakening for children. This is when we really see the human spirit develop. It's not just purely a biological function that they are moving toward independence. They actually are starting to crave it. Now that they're not fully dependent on a caregiver, they want to explore their world. They want to see how their actions impact it. They want to know how and why things happen and how often and where. Almost all of their undesirable behaviors are driven by their brain's desire to want to know more about something, to understand it more fully by engaging with it through their various senses. They're also learning cause and effect of not just their physical environment, but of how their actions impact the human behavior around them. So in order to develop the skills that we take for granted in adulthood, their brains are literally telling them to explore and test everything, including your boundaries. And because their brains are still developing and they don't have a lot of background knowledge for a bunch of things, they need us to act as external guides for them. Let's move over here. That's not safe. Let's put that down. That could hurt you. Don't touch that. That's really hot. Don't walk over there. You're going to break your neck. Framed differently, we're often saying no, stop, don't, no, stop, don't to them all day long, which is when we get into the no phase for toddlers, because that's what we say to them all day long. Imagine that all day long your brain is saying, we don't know about this. See what it is. We have to learn more about it. Go, test it, test it. We have to step in as that external guide to help them understand boundaries. But imagine if when your brain is saying, we don't know about this, let's find out about it, let's explore it, test it, test it, test it, you're met with a pop on the hand or a pop in the mouth or a pop on the behind. The adults who are using physical discipline think that they are teaching the child that those behaviors are bad. But since the child is actually just responding to the brain's cue to explore, to learn in order to understand, the negative association that's actually being formed is between pain and exploration and learning and curiosity. There is now a fear response connected to a child's natural process for learning. This doesn't mean that you let them do whatever they want. They need you to set boundaries, to set limits. This is part of the learning process. What they don't need is for you to humiliate, shame them, or make them feel pain for doing exactly what their brains are telling them to do. What a child's brain is telling them to do is what developmentally appropriate behaviors mean. They're responding to the cues of their brain. Instead of punishing them, you can provide them with alternatives to explore in more safe or appropriate ways. Conscious parenting is about awareness, bringing an awareness to all aspects of your parenting. Awareness creates the possibility for choice. You have the choice to parent differently than the people around you. If you want to know more, I'd love to have you in my Conscious and Connected community. Click the link in my bio for more information.